That's always fun. I do not mind throwing jerkbaits for smallmouth. Today we're up in Minnesota. We're actually up in Mille Lacs. It's cold, and they had a big cold front going through here. We're trying to locate some smallmouth, but this is the first one on one of my absolute favorite baits to throw, and that's a Rapala X-Rap. So we're gonna see what the day brings, but we're off to a good start, and we're glad you're here.
We're now south of 55. We're gonna take a little scenic drive down Interstate 49. We're just looking for a good time.
Here he comes. Yeah, pretty fish right there. Whoa! That's why it's my favorite fish. They just don't quit. They just don't quit. Come on, you. Whoa. Look at this guy. There's a pretty fish. I think I'm going to get the clam for that one. I'm going to need that. Oh. Oh. Gotcha. Nice one there. Oh yeah, buddy. Now that, I am so glad we went to that net. It just makes things easier. And I'm going to show you guys something here as soon as I get this fish unhooked. Let's get this off. There we go. All right. Look at that pretty smallmouth right there. Isn't that beautiful? Do not throw jerkbaits for smallmouth in the spring without a tail on it. Hard for you to see that right there. I'm going to put a new feathered tail on there, but every fish we're catching so far is on that. We're going to put this one back. We'll be back right after this. This segment of Jim Crowley Outdoors is brought to you by these and other fine sponsors. All right, I'm going to show you guys a tip right here because I always like a feathered tail. When you're throwing jerkbaits for smallmouth, especially in the spring, anytime for smallmouth, a feathered tail will just get you more strikes. The last two fish we've had came in on that tail. I don't know why that works. After all these years, I don't care. I just know it works. So I'm replacing a tail, so I'm going to give you a little tip right here if you don't have split ring pliers in the boat with you. So what I do is I start the hook right over the split ring in the opening, okay? Take my long nose pliers, I do that. Then I just take the other treble and I slide it over the top and I hold it. That way it does not stick you. And then I take my long nose pliers and what I'm gonna do is go around. Around. There, I dropped off the other one and now the other one is on. That way you don't get stuck. I know where my other treble hook is. I can store that to throw it away later, and you're all good to go. Once you get good at that, less than 10 seconds, you can change out your treble hooks. There's another big one with it. Second cast I ever did with this Moon Eye hair jig, and he inhaled it. Oh, always when you're fishing smallmouth, you should have it all the time, but especially in the spring, always have hair tied on. That's a beautiful fish right there. Oh my goodness. Yeah, bud. Oh, that's a big fish. Look at a big one down there with him. Another big one right with him. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Goodness gracious. Look at that hair jig in his mouth. That's a big largemouth. It's a big largemouth. Look at that. It is a big largemouth. Come here. Look at that. Holy cow. Oh my goodness. He just ate that. That's a look at that. Is that a beautiful fish right there? Second cast. with the moon eye hair jig, and there's another one on there with it. Look at that beautiful fish.
They're so much fun and strong.
Well, that was good. You followed up with that hair jig. We saw that one.
Exactly.
That's sometimes that is just the hardest thing to beat.
You know, he was just out cruising, just
Yeah.
to get it out, something out in front of him.
They're getting ready to look for those beds, but they're just out here cruising.
He likes it under your boat.
Yeah.
In the shade.
Good job.
Well, you can't rush them. That's for sure.
No, there's no doubt. Can't do that.
Play them until they're ready to come in.
Another real nice one though.
He took it and ran the other direction pretty quick.
I saw you just double over.
Once he knew he wanted it, that was all.
That was funny, yeah.
Oh,
good job.
come on. I said, you gotta wait till they're done.
Hey, this is only a half-hour show, you know, just so you know. Nice one.
Yeah. There we go. Oh man, the fat belly.
Oh, look at
that. I just touched, I filled up his belly. Look at that.
Look at that, beautiful, dude.
He is so strong. Look at that.
Came right out.
As long as I keep the pressure on him.
Nicely done, man. We dropped down to a hair jig because they were just following up the jerkbait for a while. Look at the size of this one. Oh my goodness. My goodness, is that fun. That little hair jig is a secret weapon. Oh yeah. Look at the size of that one. Come on, baby. Oh, what a day we are having. What a day we are having. Look at the size of this one. Oh my goodness. Look at the size of this one. Come on. This is another beast. Come in here. Gotcha! Oh my goodness, look at this thing. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Oh my goodness, thank you God for that. Would you believe that little VMC 1/16 ounce black hair jig has caught us more big bass? And look at that beautiful specimen of a fish. Isn't that awesome? Oh man, oh man, oh man. What an awesome day we are having. I'm gonna put this fish back. Hey, we're gonna take a break. We'll be back right after this. This segment of Jim Crowley Outdoors is brought to you by these and other fine sponsors. It has been a 1-2 punch today, all day, between the X-Wrap and this hair jig. And, oh my goodness, they're just so strong. So strong. And it's not like you can rush them. This is crazy. Oh, come here. Gotcha. Look at that one. I am. Let me get this hair jig out of there. Oh, they're burying it. Ah, there you go. He was not coming off. What a beautiful fish this is. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I am so in my element. My dad started me smallmouth fishing probably when I was 5 or 6 years old. And it's been my favorite fish ever since. And one of my favorite ways to catch them, without question, is on a jerkbait. But when you get that hair jig bite going, and for those of you who haven't done it, we're going to go over a little bit here in just a little while about how exactly you can do it. Because once you learn it and you start catching fish like this, it just adds one more awesome trick to your arsenal. Another one here. As soon as we get this fish back in, another big fish. I'm going to show you exactly what we're doing here. Oh, these fish are they're wanting to come up to spawn. Okay, so we got water temperature here. 55 degrees is a magic number you're looking for in the spring. And when it hit it today, it was like the switch just got flipped. Look at this big thing right here, beautiful. And so once we found them, we were catching them on jerk baits first, and then when the wind died down, we just went to this hair jig. And a hair jig is always, it's something, if you're a smallmouth fisherman, you need to have it in your box. You just have to. Because no matter where you go, as long as you got the water clarity, you're going to catch more fish with it. Like this one. Look at that. Now, I'm going to show you something about this hair jig. Razor sharp hook. Isn't that just a beautiful fish? I love smallmouth fishing. God, it's awesome. All right, so let's talk about this hair jig. All right, so the way VMC designed this, all right, this is 1/16 ounce and this is black. But what I want to show you is the distance between where the eyelet on the jig is and the hook. It's actually designed more like a flipping jig. So when I pull back or I set the hook, that hook 9 times out of 10 goes right up toward the top. And since it's a thin wire hook, it catches the thick part right before the lip almost every time. The fish is locked. Then it's up to you to have your equipment set up. I've got a 7.2, basically it's a medium light rod. We're gonna actually go back to the studio in a second and I'll show you the whole setup of everything. But I've got 10-pound Suffix braid to 8-pound Suffix fluorocarbon, what I have on all my spinning rods. Let's go back to the studio. I'm gonna show you the whole setup for both lures. As you've been seeing, the action is incredible. And I want to go over the 2 rods that I built for this smallmouth trip because they are really important because of the lengths and actions that I used on them. Now, as far as the jerkbait goes, I was using all American tackle components, and these are Bushido blanks, and the blank that I built for my jerkbaits is an MB68 10 to 17. It's got a great fast tip on it, terrific backbone. It's just a really great rod, among other things. I use it as a wacky worm rod as well, but it's great for jerkbaits. And I loaded it with the American Tackle 3000 spinning reel on here. And with this rod, when I built it, I've put the new CCT reel seats on there. Now, CCT stands for Compressed Carbon Technology. As we've told you before, it amplifies the feel of graphite. So anything that happens on the other end of your line with these compressed carbon reel seats, you are going to feel it. Now, as far as throwing the hair jig, that's a longer rod, and we've used this rod in the past. It is absolutely my favorite rod for smallmouth. We even used it for catching peacock bass earlier in the year, and I also use it for a walleye rod. This is a MB73 8 to 15. It's a medium light that allows you to throw even the lightest lures, including that 1/16 ounce black hair jig. It's also a great rod for live bait, and I really like it for doing a lot of things, including a drop shot for smallmouth bass. It's just a great all-purpose smallmouth rod. That I also have with the 3000 spinning reel on there, and I loaded both those reels up, as I always do, with Suffix 10-pound braid, and this is the 832. It's a sinking braid, so I've got better lure and line control over that. Now, for these smallmouth, I like using a Suffix Invisalign leader. This is a fluorocarbon leader. It's very strong, and it's just great leader material, and I use this for just about all my smallmouth fishing. Now, if you have Suffix Advanced, that's a great line too. And matter of fact, when the water's really clear, the leader I will drop down to is 6-pound Advance, and that's what I throw that little hair jig on from time to time when the water's really clear and if I feel the fish are being finicky. Now, as far as the lures today, here was a #1 jerkbait that I was throwing. Now, this was an X-Wrap size 10, and this is in the pink color. And you're going to say, well, why were you throwing pink? Remember something about smallmouth. They are curious and aggressive by nature. So in really cold water in the spring, sometimes I will throw shock colors. That was the reason behind my throwing the Moon Eye hair jig in this purple and chartreuse. Then I ended up catching a big largemouth on it, and the smallmouth ended up wanting to have a smaller profile. That's when I went to that black hair jig. When it was windy, the jerkbait was definitely working better today. And then when the wind kind of died down, we went to that little black hair jig. Now I'll take a little piece of plastic worm and just slide it up on the shank. That gives added casting weight to the hair jig, and it also puffs out that hair on that skirt a little bit.
And when we're done here, we're going to take you back out to the water, and we're going to show you exactly how I do the hair jig technique, because there is a technique behind it, and reeling that lure too fast is just not going to be anywhere near as productive. Now, going back to the jerkbait for a second, there are times when I use other colored jerkbaits, more natural patterns, and I switch off back and forth, but there are just some times like this bright pink or the hothead, and Rapala makes a ton of different colors in this X-Rap, but these bright colors can really trigger these fish to bite. The reason we put that feather on the tail, one, the X-Rap comes with that, but pretty much all the jerkbaits that I throw for smallmouth, I always have a hair tail on it. Now in the morning when the water was still kind of cold, that's what they were focusing on. They would actually just hit that tail, and the first couple fish you saw, that's how the smallmouth were hooked. As that water temperature warmed up and hit that magic 55 degrees, that's when they started nailing the whole bait. I don't know exactly what it is about that hair, and as I said earlier, I don't care. I just know that it works. I'll put a feathered tail on lures, especially when I'm fishing for hybrids, for pure stripers, for white bass, and definitely for smallmouth. It does make a difference. And I also have in my box, I carry a bunch of extras, usually in size 4 and size 6, of the feathered trebles, because especially on an aggressive smallmouth bite like it was today, sometimes you're going to need to replace that treble. So I always make sure I have some of those in my box. So that's everything we use. Let's get back out to the water, because the action, believe it or not, it's heating up.
Oh, nice one, buddy. Nice one.
There's two of them right together.
I know. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, my goodness.
They are. I love this hair jig, Jimmy. It's just too much fun.
I know it. I know it. That's a monster, dude.
Man.
It's another monster today.
All these fish are so strong.
And they're just cruising out here. And if they will not react to anything else. But you throw that hair jig at them.
Well, and that, like I said, there were two together. So
yeah,
he was in competition with that other one just a second ago. Yeah, give me that.
Yeah, get the clam. Go ahead.
Oh,
there you go. There you go.
oh. Come on, little buddy.
Nice.
Too quick.
He said no.
Yeah,
he said no. That boy got it. Nice. Nice job, man. High five.
Let's see what we got here.
That is awesome. Oh, beautiful, dude.
Nice fish. Again, hair jig right on top. Sweet.
Where it's supposed to be.
I know. Perfect.
This is a flat that we're working right here, okay? So, when I go to make the cast, so I'll reel up here. When I go to make the cast, you can see how the line straightens up, and look how far I can cast that little 1/16 ounce hair jig. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the rod at about that, 2 o'clock position. And I want to reel that hair jig slow enough so I have a bow in my line. If you don't have a bow in your line, you're not reeling it slow enough. You're just going to keep that coming. You're not going to jig it. You're not going to shake it. You're not going to drop it. You're just going to keep that bow in your line and keep that bait coming as slow as you possibly can. When this works really good, pre-spawn is obviously a very good time, especially for cruising fish. That's what we're catching today. When you have a bug hatch, a mayfly hatch, that can be incredible for it. But the big key is being able to make those long casts, get that bait away from the boat, let it sink down about a foot or two, and then if you see my reel right here, this is as slow as I'm reeling it. I want to keep a bow in my line. The longer I keep a bow in my line, the better off I'm going to be. Those fish will just come up behind it and they'll suck it in, and all of a sudden the line will just go straight. You pull back and you've got the fish. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's a big one there. I'm going to get the net here for this one. Man, that's a big one there. That's a big one there. Oh, come here. Just take your time. Get up here. Oh, no. Come here. Yeah! Look at that! Oh my goodness! On the X-Rap, that could be my personal best smallmouth. Oh my goodness! That's a 6-pounder. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Look at that fish! Oh, thank you, God! Oh, thank you, God! Oh my goodness! You gotta excuse us for this first. Folks, this is probably my biggest smallmouth. We're gonna be back finish the close of this at this awesome time up in Mille Lacs on that X-Wrap size 10. I love it. Thank you. We'll be back right after this. She came in at a little under 6 pounds. I got to tell you something. I know I was excited about that X-Wrap, but the two biggest fish that I've caught on camera were a largemouth, almost 8 pounds, and that was on an X-Wrap size 10. The smallmouth was an X-Wrap size 10. What a great day. Put that fish back. Wow, isn't that cool? Go ahead, sweetheart. As always, we had an incredible time at Mille Lacs. Thank you so much for joining us. You know, God really blessed us with a great trip and another big fish, and I truly hope that He does the same for you on your next trip. Until next time, God bless you. I'm Jim Crowley. We'll see you soon. When fishing Mille Lacs, we always stay at the Red Door Resort and Motel.